Welcome. Scott here. I will be covering on the upcoming event, which is our first ever 6 warrior quest, Prelude in Global. This event will be the new event that will be replacing the boss rush. Firstly, let me give you a quick overview on the 6 warriors quest. You can bring a party of 6 members for the quest. Each member can be equipped with their own call. For every turn, you can do a member swap. To swap a member, you need to click on the swap button. You can only bring one summon and allow use one burst. No friend support will be allowed. Abilities that revive the party will affect both parties. The boss HP bar will have thresholds indicators. If you see the target icon is flashing with a red border, it means that the boss is going to do an HP attack. For those who have a full built-up roster, this is an event that you will enjoy a lot. Enjoy the fun by bringing a bigger party and have everyone utilize their strengths. Put up a team of various utilities, and this will help you in this event and any future 6 warrior fights as well. Let's proceed with the boss guide proper. The featured units that are synergy for the event are Snow from Final Fantasy XIII, Lyse from Final Fantasy XIV, the Emperor from Final Fantasy II, and Balthier from Final Fantasy XII. The event will mark the debut of Lyse LD and Snow BT. All the featured LD units are getting their reworks and their C90 awakenings. Snow and the Emperor's BT will be realizable. For the event, we will be fighting 2 bosses, Dimension Mighty Arm and the Dimension Shift Frame type BW. Both bosses have 20 million HP each. The Mighty Arm will change its defenses depending on the aura activated. The Shift Frame type BW will switch its resistances depend on the mode it is in. It is immune to debuffs that include speed down. For example, Kurasame Hiro debuff has speed down effect, so the boss is immune to it. The turn requirement is 70 and the HP requirements is 20,000. Before I continue further, here is a small disclaimer clause for the video. The guide is written based on the time that the event was released for the Japanese version. Please do note that it is possible that the boss fight mechanics might differ when the actual event is released in global. As the LUFENIA Plus Orb is an easy condition to handle and tied to the Mighty Arm's HP threshold, you just need to have HP regen active to uptick the orb. I will skip the recommendations for this fight as there are too many units with HP regen buffs. You can also uptick the orb with any unit that has Porum Sphere equipped. Firstly, let's proceed with some party setup recommendations. Recommended calls abilities. To ensure that you are able to constantly break them, it is important to inflict defense down debuffs. Example of calls abilities that inflict defense down calls are Ferris, Jack, Titus, and Vanille. As the boss has a huge amount of HP damage up debuff calls like Kurasame, Seymour, Fran, Lily Set, Maria, Dark Knight Cecil, Ignis, and Gabrinth. Aura type HP damage calls effects like Leo, Elisi, Kamari, and Locke can be used here as well. The boss has lots of dangerous HP attacks. Thus, controlling their brave gains is crucial. Calls that nullify brave gains are very useful for this fight. You can consider bringing Setzer, Kater, or Arsila. Next, I will be covering units that will be useful to handle the fight mechanics. Like other LUFENIA Plus events, it is always recommended to bring supports for their aura and buffs. They are Garnet, Ramza, Eiko, and Leela, Porum, Setzer, Agrias, Kate Sith, Queen, Ishtala, Bartz, Rem, Lyud, and Siren. Garnet and Ramza will provide powerful auras to supplement your party damage. Eiko will allows you to bypass the orb and revive any fallen characters. As both bosses don't have a lot of guaranteed hits, you can evade most of the attacks with Leela. Do watch out for the yellow aura as the boss will unleash a guaranteed hit attack. Make sure you have damage mitigation or brave control debuff when you going through the thresholds, as the boss will most likely get their turns. Units that offer damage mitigation are important for the fight. Examples are Snow, Core, Gladiolus, Warrior of Light, Beatrix, Orin, Zack, Guy, Bash, and Nine. To avoid the orb downtick too fast, you can just delay the bosses with delays and rebreaks. Options include the Emperor, Seymour, Cloud, Cloud of Darkness, Selpha, Sid Reigns, Leo, Quistis, Cypher, Strago, Dark Knight Cecil and Ramza. The Shift Frame type BW boss can inflict a slew of frame debuffs with its Rapid Maneuver Plus. You can prevent them with debuff evasion units like Lena, Ignis, or Selpha. Alternatively, you can cleanse debuffs with a debuff cleansing unit like Balthier, Una, or Pain. Both bosses have a 10-hit Brave plus HP attacks. This will most likely KO any unit if you don't have any damage mitigation. The other way to negate these attacks is to prevent their Brave gains. You can bring Maria, Setzer, Kater, Arsila, Ferris or Waka. I have listed down an additional list of units that you can consider to bring for the fight. Revival units, you can consider bring Aerith or Ishtala. While the red aura is active, the Mighty Arm boss has a guaranteed KO attack if any one of your unit's HP is below 30%. So, bring them will help to remedy the issue if any one of your allies got accidentally KO'd. They are also great burst healers which help in ensuring that you will meet the HP requirements. To handle the HP poison aura, you can minimize its effect by stacking HP regen bonuses. For example, Lena has 20% HP regen in her Wind Drake buff. Freya has another 10% from her Risa's Wind buff and another 10% HP regen from her Smoothing Petals. So this will make a total of 40% HP regen against the boss 30% HP poison aura. Party-wide last stand will also be useful here. You can consider bring Purim, Freya, and Queen for this utility. If you are giving Shift Frame type BW boss turns, it is possible that you will encounter the Rise mechanic where the boss will put up 8 framed buffs. An AoE dispeller like Beatrix, Arsila, Vanille, Seymour, or Pain will be useful to handle this mechanic. The Shift type frame BW will shift its defense's weakness depending on its mode. While it is airborne, it is weak against physical attacks and immune to magic. While it is grounded, it is weak against magic and immune to physical attacks. Make use of the 6 roster spots to ensure you have units of different weapon types and use the unit that is most suitable to fight the boss during those conditions. Now let's proceed with the boss mechanics proper. Like the previous LUFENIA Plus fights, the boss will gain big stats boosts, brave damage, and brave gain reduction auras when you deplete their HP to a certain threshold. The thresholds triggers for both bosses are at the start of the fight and 79% HP threshold. At the start of the fight, it will boost its defense by 200%. At 79% HP threshold, it will further boost the defense to 300%. The maximum brave damage reduction auras is 80%. The maximum brave gain reduction auras are 70%. To handle the brave damage reduction, you can apply brave damage up debuffs like Jack or Sephiroth LDCA or bring a support that offers brave damage up like Lena. To handle the brave gain reductions, you can make use supports that offer brave gain up like Rem. Supports that provide strong battery like Freya or Garnet will be very useful here, as the bosses have their own HP thresholds mechanics. It will be easier if I focus on them individually. Let's start off with the Mighty Arm boss. When the LUFENIA orb appears when the boss is emitting the red aura. To uptick the orb, you just ensure that you have HP regen. Minimize the boss turns will help a lot in controlling the orb. The orb will diffuse when the boss switches to the defense mode where it will emit the blue aura. On the screen you will see a timeline of the thresholds that you need to take note of. I have included a table where you see key summaries of the auras. Firstly, let's start off with the aura properties. When the defense mode is activated, you will see a blue aura emitting. While the aura is active, the boss will gain additional 50% brave and HP damage resistances. The boss will use only their standard attacks in this mode. When the attack mode is activated, you will see a red aura emitting. While the aura is active, the boss will apply a HP poison aura effect which will drain 30% of the character's max HP. The aura will offset against any HP regen effect. If you have 20% max HP regen active, the character will receive 10% HP damage per action. While the aura is up, the LUFENIA Orb is activated. The LUFENIA aura will only be dispelled when the boss switches to the defense mode. When the aura is activated, you will receive a warning message that the boss will trigger Gatling Gun ++ if any ally HP is less than 30%. This attack is an instant KO that is guaranteed hit where it will dispel the target's buffs and kill the unit. Under any circumstances, do not let the boss activate this. At the 59% and 19% HP threshold, the boss activates its absolute defense mode. The boss will still emit the blue aura except you will see yellow hexagon shield's aura appear on the boss. You will know the aura is active when the boss's turns are framed. While it is active, the boss will gain 999% brave damage and HP damage resistance. The boss will gain immune to delay, turn deletion and instant breaks. To have the boss get out of the aura, you need to give it a turn to use Crush Club ++. Now I have explained the aura's properties, here are some pointers that you need to take note of. 1. Until you activate the red aura at 90% HP threshold, do not let the boss act 3 times. Otherwise, you will face an additional phase of absolute defense. 2. When the boss is having a red aura, this is your damage phase. Make sure to upkeep your HP regen buff for the orb and also maintaining your HP above 30%. If you don't have strong HP regen at the moment, make use of the swap option to bring someone who has that utility. 3. When the boss activated absolute defense, make sure you don't amass too many turns, otherwise there will be a period you won't be able to do any damage to the boss. You can use this time to focus on the shift frame type BW boss instead though. To dispel the effect, you need to let the boss take a turn. Crush Club ++ is a dangerous AoE Brave plus HP attack. Applying a Brave gain prevention debuff or having 100% damage mitigation will help to negate the damage from the attack. This attack is an instant wipe if you don't have any damage mitigation. Here is some brief recap of the Mighty Arms mechanic. On top left hand side of the slide, you see the key pointers on when the thresholds are triggered. Do note it is possible to bypass the triggers. Once the red aura is activated, you will get the following warning message: allied HP failing below 30% triggers Gatling Gun ++. Gatling Gun ++ is an instant KO attack where it is guaranteed hit and dispel all buffs. The countermeasures for this mechanics are: stack your HP regen. Bring units that offers overheals. Examples are Rude, Purim, Sidor, Paladin Cecil. Bring traps that have healing effects. Maria, Therian, and Celis traps have healing effects. At the 59% and 19%, the boss will activate the absolute defense mode. You will see a blue aura along with yellow hexagon shields on the boss. The boss turns will be framed where they will be immune to delay from breaks and instant breaks. To have the boss dispel the effect, you need to let the boss use Crush Club ++. Crush Club ++ is a guaranteed hit, deadly 10-hit AoE Brave plus HP attack. To negate the damage, bring Brave gain prevent debuffs like Setzer Freeze Joker or Cater Freeze debuff. Alternatively, you can tank it with 100% damage mitigation buff like Zac BT, Beatrix Holy Knight Safeguard or Nine's White Knight buff. Now let's focus on the other boss, the Shift Frame type BW. This boss has 2 modes. It will start off in Airborne mode. While in Airborne mode, it is immune to magic and weak against physical attacks, melee and ranged. It will switch to Grounded mode with a light after using Rapid Maneuver Plus. While in Grounded mode, it is immune to physical attacks and weak against magic. It will switch to Airborne mode with Rise after using Assault Combo Plus. When it uses a light, it will cleanse all debuffs on itself. When it uses Rise, it will cleanse all debuff on itself and gains 8 framed buffs for its party. If you are playing the hit and counter game, it is important to bring a Dispeller here as the buffs are potentially a run ender. AoE dispellers like Arcila, Pain, Vanille, or Seymour is very useful here. Balthier have AoE dispel, but he dispels in small quantities. Do note that elemental enchant won't bypass the permanent weapon immunity resistances. You will need apply weapon resistance to bypass it. However, you can still do damage with batteried attacks though. At the 79% HP threshold, the boss will activate its turn warp mechanic. The mechanic will last for 3 boss turns. We have come to the last slide of the guide. The boss will start its warping mechanic at the 79% HP threshold. This will last for 3 turns. Watch for rapid maneuver plus while it is airborne. The attack is double brave gain HP attack and applies 5 frame debuffs for the party. The boss will cleanse all debuffs and uses a light after it executed the attack. While in grounded mode, the boss can inflict debuffs with Sonic Edge and Dash. Watch out for its assault combo. That attack will wipe out your party without any damage mitigation. The boss will temporarily gain 3 framed potent offensive buffs. The 3 framed buffs will be dispelled after the boss executed the attack. After the attack, the boss will use Rise to go to airborne mode. Usually, players will target the boss with the LUFENIA Orb mechanic. However, for this fight, it might be advisable to finish up Shift Frame type BW boss first due to its buff and debuff cleansing mechanics. You can easily delay it for infinity and kill it off so you can focus on the other boss. Bring debuff evasion units to protect your party against the debuffs. Bring dispellers when the boss buffs itself and its allies. With this, I have come to the end of the boss guide. Thank you for watching the video. If you like the video, please do give the video a like. Please do subscribe to my channel for future similar content. Bye.